like you said there, you create your ads copy or your email and stuff, and that's what gets people into your business. But if people are taking that stuff, you shouldn't really worry, because once they're in your business, that's where the value is.
So this is obviously the first time we've ever done anything like this. So if you're listening to this, welcome to the FitPro Social. This is the new name we've come up with. David did actually put a post up the other day about coming up with different names for this. We had some really random ones that came up, and FitPro Social Dash was one that came up. I think it's like half and half of our name and your name, I think. But I think we're going to stick with the FitPro Social for this one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think with FitPro Social, like the dash is quite an interesting one, but it doesn't kind of go with what it is we want to do. Like the aim of these is to just, instead of being a real serious podcast about marketing or sales or business growth, more of kind of like a general overview chat, kind of like we said just before we started, like there is two sides to a story, so kind of hitting at it from different angles. So yeah, I think the FitPro Social is probably a good topic. And just for anybody that is actually watching the show as well, I would usually be in the office recording this, but today I'm at home because of Storm
Eunice, is it? I think it's Eunice or
Eunice. Like that, yeah. There's like 100 miles an hour wind here. Like we've had to tie everything down. So I'm sat here, Hank's chewing on a bone next to me. So yeah, it's not like the most perfect episode ever.
But we'll have to deal with it. We can deal with this stuff. It's not too bad here. Like I said, it's only about 40-mile-an-hour winds up here, so we're not too bad. But yeah, they're getting hit quite a bit down south at the
lucky moment. For some, eh? Lucky for
some. I think, like Dave was saying just there, like the whole point of these things is to try and just have a bit more of an informal chat. And for me, it's what I want to do for a while. Pretty much every time when I'm interviewing people, I'm sure Dave was exactly the same. Is we'll have a conversation before we even get started, before we even go live, and the stuff we talk about on those things is normally full of golden nuggets. And I think it's that kind of stuff we want to try and share with you through these podcasts and these episodes as we go through them all. So yeah, let's kick into it. So what should we talk about first? We've got a couple of things that have been hovering around the grapevine at the moment.
I think my one is a good one to start off with. It was something I was going to write a blog about anyway, but I think we should kind of discuss both angles, which is stealing content. So like you run some ads or you write an email or you post some stuff on social media, and next thing you know, your competitor or somebody else has almost written the same thing. Would you class it as like stealing your content? Should you be worried? These are the type of like things I kind of wanted to talk about, really.
Has it ever happened to you before?
All the time.
All the time. What, with just ads or with other kind of content?
Ads, because of like who I am. We get a lot of people funnel hack DK9, which is, it's a nightmare, especially for the girls who are chasing the leads down. And if it's a client or one of the portal members, we literally tell them, guys, honestly, now you don't do this. We've given you everything. You can see it all. If you've got questions, ask. Please, just don't opt in. Because I mean, Jess and Holly are then phoning these people up when it's actually a gym owner.
I suppose I've had it happen a couple of times with some other things. We've had it with not too much our advertising and things like that, but with our actual content that we deliver, especially our white label content. You know, we give a lot of that content out to our clients. And I know a number of people that use that with their clients as well, who do a similar thing to what we do. And yeah, one part of it, I could go out there and get a bit arsey about it and whatever. But I'm not to me personally, I don't get too worried about that kind of thing when it's that kind of content, because I know for me anyway, personally, that it's not just that content that's going to help them get the result they want. It's not just that content that's going to get the sale. There's much more to it than that. So I think if you're just stealing that things, do I want to spend my energy on that? Or do I want to spend my energy improving my service, doing better ads, following up with leads? How do I want to spend my energy is what I tend to look at it like. But yeah, the first time it happened to me, I did get a bit annoyed.
I remember once, like back when I was doing the football coaching, like there was this rival in school, like everything I would do, he'd kind of almost do the same. And then I went back to North Wales and set the football coaching business up, spent hours creating a website, writing everything, designing everything. And then like a week later, the guy had literally replicated the exact same thing. And at that point, like back where I was back then, I was like sending emails to him, sending letters like, you got to take this stuff down. But now, you know, like you said there, you create your ads copy or your email and stuff, and that's what gets people into your business. But if people are taking that stuff, you shouldn't really worry, because once they're in your business, that's where the value is. People are not signing up or joining your program because you wrote this ad copy. They join your program because of what you're going to deliver them, the type of person you are. So yeah, if people are stealing your stuff, almost take it as like a compliment. It's like, great, like someone is thinks what I'm doing is good. Yeah
Definitely. I think it also drives you forwards. Like, for a good example is the content we've had used, you know, other people have used for us, is actually old content. Like when we see it, we've actually had people on our Done For You service come to us who work with other people. We've done work inside there and saw the content. It's our content, but from like 3 years ago. And I'll just sit there and say, we'll put a better version in. And I think because of that, we're always driving, developing stuff forward, just like you would with your ads. You're driving, developing stuff forward. So like, unless you kind of know how you're putting that stuff together, you're always going to push it forward. So a lot of the time, by the time they've actually stolen it, used it, and repurposed it, it's probably going to be out of date anyway. Realistically,
I've just heard some hilarious stories about it. You know, like someone's almost said to me, Dave, why don't you just put out like a really terrible ads copy with loads of spelling mistakes, and kind of like, it just doesn't make any sense, and see who kind of copies it. Because again, when we speak to our clients, we hear this type of stuff, or someone's copied my stuff, and like, yeah, it's bad, and they're laughing. It's like, what is funny? It's like, well, there was actually spelling mistakes. Wait a minute.
Hello.
There's actually spelling mistakes in there's actually spelling mistakes in the actual ad copy, and they've copied those spelling mistakes in as well. And it's just like the funny thing, when people actually want to steal your stuff, take it as a compliment and see the kind of the positive side of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think if they can't be asked to correct the spelling mistakes, it shows you what kind of business they're running anyway, doesn't it? It really does. I mean, like, there's one thing being inspired by people's content. Like there's things before where you can look at what someone's done and think, oh, that's a good idea, take that and repurpose that for yourself. To me, that's a different story. I kind of get that, because especially with some things, especially with from a personal trainer point of view, with content that you might be delivering to people, not just content you're using for social media, whatever, the content you want to deliver to people. There's science is science at the end of the day. So generally speaking, what's involved is going to be the same regardless. It's just going to be delivered in a different way. And I think sometimes using content you put out there to inspire someone else to write a new blog, to do a new video, to talk about something I think that's okay. I think that is a good compliment. But I think taking someone's ad copy, taking someone's blog post, taking someone's whatever, and literally copying and pasting it is just laziness. And I think it says so much more about that business. And it makes, just thinking of out loud here, it makes me feel like, well, actually, I want to give them even less energy, because I know if they cannot be asked to go through that and repurpose it themselves, as soon as that lead, if they see that, they go through and they get into it, like they're not in a position where they're going to convert them realistically, because they just can't be asked. Like, it's,
you know, I mean, the funny part is as well, like, let's say we were super proper English writers, like we got like went to university to study English and all this, and our copy was written like the best possible English possible, and you were not like that in real life. Yeah, you kind of swore, you joked around. You're gonna see your ad copy and your email follow-ups. I think, wow, this guy's really serious. He's like really posh and everything. And then you come into your studio and be like, wow, whose email was I actually reading? Because he's very different to he is face to face. So yeah, like you say, if someone is going to copy your stuff, just look at the positives. They're not inspired enough to create their own. But something you mentioned then, in the fitness industry specifically, there's nothing new you could actually really write about. Just look at the health and fitness magazines. It's basically the same content in there every single month, just rewritten. So there's no reason to get inspired and to take ideas from other people's content, because that's going to give you a different point of view or a different way to write it yourself. Yeah, but just literally copy and paste other people's stuff just isn't really cool.
No, I don't think it's definitely not cool at all, and I just don't think it leads to anything. I mean, we talk. I mean, obviously, I spend more time in the online side of the fitness world than the in-person these days. Obviously, I used to have an in-person business, and especially with the online side, like knowing who you work with, your avatar, if you like, and that is very important. And if you're taking other people's stuff and just using that, how is that really going to relate properly to your avatar? I mean, how is that going to be very specific to the needs that they want? You know, how's it going to solve their problems? Like, it's not going to be so specific to them. Like I just don't really get it. I just don't get that side of it. I don't get how it's going to benefit them, because to me, when I'm writing stuff, I talk very specifically to a very specific type of person.
Yeah.
And solve a very specific problem for them. And that's it. And no one else is really doing that. Or if they are, like, how can they steal that and use it elsewhere? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's going to fall apart at some point.
That is an interesting one. I would say, like, if you were to copy somebody's stuff offline, it would work in your favor as the person who's copying your stuff. If you're copying somebody's online, it wouldn't benefit you at all, because online, like you say, is way harder to build the value and trust to be able to sell anything to them. So if you're like, again, you're writing all kind of random stuff that somebody else you see is doing well, and you're posting that, but what you actually deliver is nothing like what you're talking about, it's going to confuse them even more, which they're not going to sign up even more.
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah, it is quite an interesting one. Like I say, we see it a lot all the time, but it's I'd say I don't worry about it personally too much anymore. But again, I'm more online, so it kind of makes, for me, it makes literally zero difference whether they do it or not. Though it did happen many years ago when I had a different business. Someone very similar to you guys like copied off my website, and they actually also took the spelling mistakes and stuff, because most people know I'm not very good at spelling. Good at numbers, good at logic, good at patterns, that kind of thing.
That's fine.
Can do algebra well, but not very good at spelling. So you can always tell if you can always tell if it's my copy, because it'll always be something spelled wrong.
Off the topic there about you personally. So for anybody watching this or listening to this, at this moment in time, I've never actually ever met Ash face to face. And then I saw a picture that you put on Facebook the other day, and then Shane Nugent, for those that know Shane, commented on it saying, "This is Ash on his knee." So are you actually really that tall?
I'm 6'4".
Okay, yeah. So you're super good at numbers, you're good at kind of problem solving, not very good at spelling, and you're super tall. That's kind of like
tall,
a brief.
Yeah. That's a brief description of me. How tall are you? Also, we never met, obviously. How tall are you?
No, I'm 5'10". So we've started doing TikToks now. It's kind of, we're changing the marketing we're doing for FitPro and Lead Deck. We want to ask more questions and start encouraging more engagement instead of posting content all the time. And Shelby was like, "Okay, I need you to tell me your brief history of how you got started to where you are now, setting up Lead Deck in 30 seconds." I was like, what? How am I supposed to explain everything I've done, from getting qualified to moving to Southampton, setting up a gym, to doing ads, to getting Lead Deck in 30 seconds? But I managed to do it. She managed to like crop a load of bits out. So yeah, there's people are going to find out quite a lot of interesting stuff about us as we go through this. I think we should move on, because we don't want these topics to be too long. So for another information thing about me, I pay almost zero attention to the news. Like on my Facebook or on YouTube or whatever, it's football, learning about marketing and ads, and football again. That's literally all I pay any attention to. I pay no attention to the news at all. So when Ash mentioned what we're going to talk about next, I literally have no idea. So I'll let Ash explain a little bit more. And then if I have anything to say on the topic, I'll just kind of...
I was going to ask him to say on him. So I do spend not too much time watching the news, but I try and keep my ears to the ground. Kind of, especially when it comes to the online world, it tends to help to have your ear to the ground on these things. And I saw something the other day, and I'm sure many people have seen this, especially in the UK, you may have seen this, about a new pill that's come out. And you think about all these pills, they come out all the time. There's always companies all over the world giving these magical pills that help you lose weight. This is basically, apparently, according to media, one of these magical pills that help you lose weight. The difference is the NHS in the UK, which obviously funds all the healthcare in the UK, has backed this, and are now offering this out to patients. And this caused a bit of a stir online about this new pill that's now been approved and been released. And I saw a lot of personal trainers come up and kicking off about the whole thing. And I thought that'd be interesting just to talk about that a little bit, see what people's thoughts are, or maybe what your thoughts are on this idea of this pill. So, in a nutshell, really all you know is it's a pill that can be taken. The way I understand it, you take multiple ones over time. It's designed to help people lose weight over a 12-week period alongside other changes. So healthier changes in lifestyle and things like that. It's just to help aid that. So it's more like a weight loss aid, I should say, than a magical pill. And it's given by the NHS, so it can be given for free. And there's certain criteria that people need to have in order to get this pill. And you have to tick a number of these different criteria, like certain BMI, that kind of thing, certain weight. So there's all sorts of different things, factors as well, that can get involved, like what medical conditions you have and stuff like that. But like I say, that's pretty much what it is. But a lot of trainings were kicking off about this. I mean, what's your thoughts on
what is it? Is it like a meal suppressor, hunger suppressor thing? Do they mention kind of like what its main kind of thing is?
The way I understand it, I don't know for 100% sure, because it's like I say, I've not looked into so much detail about it, but for what's in the media, it helps hunger suppression. To give you an example, the idea is that people who may go for like gastric band surgery would be offered this pill instead. So it will kind of work in the same ilk as that, I would have thought.
Yeah, like there's both sides. Obviously, taking the pill instead of having a gastric band is going to save your body from having to go into major surgery.
Yeah.
So that's like one thing. And I'm guessing it's going to be way cheaper taking the pill than having a gastric band. So like for the NHS, it's almost kind of like a no-brainer almost.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I mean, like when I was watching people talk about this, and I think this is the problem. I think this is where you do right not to go on the media. I don't think the problem's the NHS. A lot of people are giving stick to the government about this, for giving stick to the NHS about accepting this pill. But when you kind of read a bit about it, the idea is that it's going to, as you mentioned there, it's going to replace things like the need for gastric bands. People that can't have those operations can actually then go and have them. The cost is so much cheaper. It's outpatient based, so there's cost to the NHS. The waiting times are going to be so much lower. So there's lots of benefits of having this as an alternative option to using things like gastric bands and so on. So I think there's definitely quite a few benefits and stuff from there. And a lot of things I saw online was about a lot of personal trainers, especially saying like it's like giving us a kick in the teeth. With what's happened over the past few years, we've had gyms shut down, we can't go and work. All that kind of stuff has been there over the past few years with COVID and all that. And they like think, it's like another kick in the teeth now. Instead of actually saying, we need to, with the government came out, so we need to have this healthy drive now. We need to get people healthier and fitter. It's going to benefit us. That big drive is in there. And the solution to that drive was to then go and release this pill that can then go and help people lose weight. And I think that just rubbed people up the wrong way. But I think that's more to do with how the media portrayed it than actually what it is, which I think is probably the real discussion about how media use information.
Yes. Like it's a tough one. Like if you've got beef with the NHS for giving this pill out instead of supporting your fitness business or gym or anything, almost go and take a look at someone like Joe Wicks. He does blog posts. He creates recipe books. He did literally a workout every single day. He interacts with his followers on social media. He does so much. He matches with charities. Yeah, this is like a major, almost celebrity now. But if you go back to his good old days when he first got started, he was producing so much content specific to one type of person that they became interested. Like, do you know Terry Ellis in the group? Did you see his post? He's just opened his new studio, and he opened with 160 clients in his first month. And everyone was like, wow, how did he do that? How did he do that? And he just said, I went to every single local business in the area. I went to every single school in the area. I connected with all the fire stations, all the ambulance stations, all the police departments. I networked with loads of different businesses and basically got the gym name out there. So you've kind of got beef with the NHS for not supporting your business. Almost kind of look at your own marketing strategy. Are you actually proactively going out there and telling the world about your fitness business? And if you're not, that would be the first. Don't focus on what the NHS is doing. Focus on you. And that comes back to what we talked about at the start, stealing other people's content. If your strategy is to steal other people's content, hope for the best, that isn't the greatest strategy in the world to grow your fitness business.
Yeah. I think the key thing there is like focus on using it. Like so much crap is going to happen. You're going to hear stuff online. You're going to hear all these stories. People are going to do things that you might not agree with, you might not like. You might have new competition that grows in the area. But the best thing you can do is focus on you, because only what you do is going to make a difference. Like you can whine, you can bitch, you can moan, you can do whatever you want to about other things that you hear other people do or problems that might be coming up. But if you've got no way of controlling that situation, it's a complete and utter waste of energy. To me, you've just got to focus your energy on what you can control. And just like you mentioned there, like going out, knocking on people's doors, if you like, on businesses' doors, having those conversations, building those relationships up with people, that's stuff that you can control. And that's what will then turn into the revenue at the end of the day. Like, you don't need to, the NHS, they might be able to impact millions of people, but you don't need to impact millions of people. You need to impact 100 people. You can have the lifestyle that you want.
Less than 1% of the NHS population you need to, and you not only will you impact their lives, is you will also have a decent living yourself. It's one of those things where, like, when people say, oh yeah, Dave, my audience is 100,000 on Facebook. Well, you need less than 1%. You just need about 150 clients to have a really good fitness business, helping a decent amount of people who can secondary help other people, and you have a decent life. So you just need around 150 clients. If you get 150 clients all paying you close to £100 a month each, you know what I mean? You've got a very, very, very successful fitness business compared to most.
You'll have a comfortable lifestyle with that. I think that's a really big important thing. I see it quite a lot when we're speaking to our clients sometimes, and a lot of people are chasing these bigger numbers. They look too big. I need this. How am I going to do this? How can I they're comparing themselves to people all the time? Like, just focus on what you want to do, and also just understand what you want out of this. Just because you hear a company go around saying, come and be the next 7, 8, 20 figure FitPro, whatever you want to be, doesn't mean you have to be one. Like if you're comfortable, maybe you're comfortable at 10 grand a month. Maybe you're comfortable at 50 grand a month. Maybe you're comfortable at 5 grand a month. Whatever it is, it's for you. And it's to support the lifestyle that you want. So that's what you've got to aim for. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Just worry about what you're doing and what steps you can take to get to. And
there's 2 points there straight away. Like, are you running a lifestyle business or are you running a growth business? Now, the big difference between both of them, a lifestyle business is a business that works around your life. If you've got kids, you take the kids swimming, you take them to school, you have weekends off, you don't work Friday nights. You kind of run a business that fits around your life. A growth business is you sacrifice your entire life, kind of like probably the situation me and Ash are in right now. We almost kind of sacrifice everything, all for the growth. So if you've seen adverts of become the next 5-figure or 6-figure trainer and all this type of stuff, that stuff isn't easy. That requires the growth strategy of giving almost everything up. Like you're gonna have a load of people here who have competed and they want to get on stage, and they've given everything up. They train 2 or 3 times a day. They eat perfectly for 12 weeks, 20 weeks, depending on what their cycle is. They do not go out. They do not eat. They do not have cheat days. That's what you need to do if you want to grow. So going back to the NHS thing, like, if you've got beef with the pill because they're not supporting your fitness business, definitely look at what more you can do.
100%. And I do like what you said there as well about the kind of the growth side and the lifestyle business things. I think that's an important thing to make a choice on, and make that choice about what you want. Don't listen to what people tell you should have. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a growth business, because it's hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hard, it's tiring. You get bags under your eyes.
Says the guy who's just been on the cruise for a couple of days.
Well, yeah. I do try and get the balance right, but I'm more of like the way I do it is intense work with like intense breaks. So like, when I'm in intense work, I'll do 16, 17-hour days sometimes. Now I'll do that 7 days a week if I have to for 10 weeks, but then I'll go away for like a week somewhere. But I still work when I'm away. Like, there's the other occasions where I can't. You know, it might be 1 or 2 days that I can't, but you know, even on cruises, so when I go on them, I'll go when I work. Like I've got one in like I like to cruise because I like to travel, but my laptop will be with me.
Yeah.
I end up paying a ridiculous amount of money for Wi-Fi on a cruise ship. It's stupid how expensive it is. I mean, you'll pay for like fast Wi-Fi on the ship, you're looking at £40 to £50 a day.
What?
For that. But for me, from a business point of view, I need it.
Yeah.
And that's the compromise I have to make. If I want to go and travel and see these places,
Can you claim
the
VAT
ship still
on
have
that?
the yeah, you can claim it back. You can claim it all back. Always going to find ways to claim things back. But yeah, so like there's ways to always do stuff. But yeah, you do put the hours in. And
again,
the
that is
effort
the
into
growth business. You're not going on a cruise to be able to turn the phone off, your laptop
Yeah.
off, and just relax for the 2 or 3 days or whatever your cruise is.
Mhm.
You're still in that growth stage where
Mhm.
you're still having to work, and you spend the downside doing the stuff, going on the slides on the cruise or whatever
Yeah.
Ash likes to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's let me sat downstairs watching TV or watching 100-mile-an-hour winds outside the window, whatever you've got at the moment.
The only thing I would definitely say is if you want to have a growth strategy and you want to try and do it on the laptop, on the beach, like you see a lot of these people say, just know that is not very easy. So like I've tried it. Like we went to Thailand for 6 weeks and I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'll take a picture, show everyone I'm living the lifestyle. But literally you can't see anything on the screen because the sun is literally shining in your eyes or on the screen. You get sand,
getting your keys.
your sand everywhere, and then your laptop stops working. And then the worst thing is you can't charge your laptop, and because the sun is so hot beaming on your laptop, the fan's going into overdrive, so the battery gets used so quick. And then it's a nightmare. So you've got sand everywhere. You can't see, your battery's dead. You're like, oh, screw this, back to the hotel.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like every time, I promise you, every time you see that on an Instagram picture, it's set up. I promise you, there's no way they could sit there working effectively. I did one during the main part of the pandemic back in 2020, end of 2020 or 21. We went traveling quite a bit, so I didn't want to be in the UK because there's less restrictions. But unlike now, there was less restrictions elsewhere. So we went traveling quite a bit, just jumping around from hotels and stuff, and wherever we could, basically. And we was working from there. I did put a post up about that picture of me actually working on my laptop, but not on the beach. I was just sat in the hotel lobby doing it, or in the room doing it, because like realistically, that's where you're going to be. Like you're not going to be sat on the beach with your feet up drinking pina coladas or whatever you want to drink. It's you at work. It's just you're in a different environment. That's essentially all it is. For me, it is anyway. For me, it is.
I mean, you can definitely still travel and work at the same time. You'd have main working days. So you might just say Monday, Wednesday, Friday are my working days. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the days I can explore and I can do stuff. So not saying you can't travel and have the growth strategy mindset. Just know that some of the pictures that you do see are the very unrealistic ones. Like when I go, I take the camera, which is just here. I've got my 2 battery packs. I've got my camera. I've got cables. Like my backpack is just carrying the stuff to do work. You need a separate bag then to take your clothes and everything, because just when you take your laptop and stuff, you have to take everything to make sure nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, you need everything. You need, like, say, your backup batteries and stuff, like audio stuff, camera stuff. There's a lot to really take in it and do. And it's, like I say, it's definitely possible. It might be a cool thing to talk about, actually, like how to travel and like maybe not this time, but on the next one, talk a bit about.
Sorry, Hank's going crazy because the wind's getting so strong. The letterbox just keeps tapping. Every time someone knocks on the door, he comes flying down the stairs to check who it is. He doesn't want to attack them. He just wants to lick them and say hello. But it's like every little knock, it's like straight down. Who is it?
No, that's cool. Yeah, I think that'd be cool to talk about on one of the other ones, actually. Maybe see what it's like to, like, the actual truth behind the FitPro lifestyle that seems to get sold sometimes, and what it's actually like, and how to do it, like not the pros and cons of it, and how to actually go and do that. That might be quite an interesting one for another episode.
That's definitely so. Yeah, so for anybody that is watching, if you kind of wanted to come on, so like we've discussed about maybe doing like a round table where we invite a couple of guests on and we focus on a specific topic, or you just want to come on and just have a chat in general with me and Ash, definitely reach out, comment, messages on Facebook, reach out to us via email, and just let's get more people on, so it's not just me and Ash talking about rubbish for for half an hour. There's actual loads of interesting discussions, not just like you say on marketing and sales and growth and stuff, just the FitPro life in general, covering all angles of it.
Yeah, definitely. I say if you're interested in coming on, literally just drop it in as a message, drop it through email, Facebook, whatever, and we'll get to come on. We'll just have a general chat about whatever you want to chat about. Yeah,
and it's one of those things as well. So like we've said, we will try is the key word here. We'll try and do one once a week. So if you are listening to this and we've done one for a couple of weeks and then we've vanished for 2 or 3 weeks, we do have busy lives. So our aim is to try and get one done every week. And every now and again, we'll do a live one as well, where we'll put it on Facebook and YouTube and stuff. And you can join in as well. So if you don't want to come on and chat, you can just kind of interact with us on Facebook and stuff.
I'm excited about the live ones. They should be cool. They will be fun. Awesome. Well, I think that's it from us on this episode. I say we'll be back hopefully next week. It should be with whatever we're going to talk about next. Hopefully we might have a guest as well, which would be nice. But until then, thanks for tuning in and listening and watching if you are watching. And we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Guys, bye-bye.